Holy cannoli. Where have we been on this show?
Been straying away from Ultra Q.
We are not doing that. We will finish this to the end. We are completionists, sir.
Yeah, this is gonna be a tough watch, but let's do it.
So, welcome back. Wait. I'm going to parody one of my favorite YouTubers out there. His name is Eddie VR. I'm pretty sure he will never listen to this, but welcome back to Toku for Two.
That was good.
um,
That was good. Good
Thank you.
impression.
We ended up watching the next three episodes of Ultra Q.
And they've been
And
ultra lame for me.
okay, all right. I was about to say we can fight a little bit on this, but they weren't that bad. And I know that some people will say when you say they're that not that bad that they are that bad. I'm gonna give you some middle ground here. They can be kind of bad, but I have eclectic tastes that some people will say, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah, that you do. That you do.
Um, but I honestly think that the second episode that we watched today was pretty decent, and the third one was just an absolute riot. So, what do you say we just dive right into this?
Yeah, Oh man, what episode are we on?
It
13.
is episode 13.
God bless. We've gone through too many already.
So this one was called Garadama. Christian, what is a Garadama?
It's a fucking space alien that comes from like a
No,
rock.
a Garadama is a meteorite, according to Doctor.
It's a doctor. Yeah, his name was just Doctor, wasn't it?
It was just Doctor, this
Okay.
Japanese Colonel Sanders looking dude.
Yeah,
So
you go ahead.
it starts out with these boys, like these little boys who discover this meteorite. And first off, when it comes to any kind of episodes that starts off with kids with this show, immediately I'm like, oh god, is this another kid centric episode? Because usually they are hit or miss. And this wasn't a kid centric episode, but it definitely wasn't a hit.
No, it,
um,
it. I like how they pick up the asteroid or the meteorite, and they're just like, "Hey, look!" And usually meteorites have like radiation in them, so nobody really cares. It's just like, "All right, kids, go get cancer."
Yeah, instead of radiation, they just have radio waves instead.
Yeah,
It's like, okay. Um, and they're picking it up and they're picking it up like it's a styrofoam almost because you can just pick it up with relative ease. And they're like, hey, we found this. What are we going to do with it? So they just take it to this scientist dude, and the scientist guy is like, well, let's go ahead and test it. So they try cutting it. They try using circular saw blades on it. They try doing everything they can, and nothing will cut through them.
they
So
used
it
like a
really makes me wonder
knife.
what this thing was actually made out of, like in real life.
Is adamantium.
Adamantium.
That's
But they said that it was what was it? It was like a glass-like substance, but they said it was comprised of tilsonite.
something like that. I that lost me when they were like explaining what was in it. I was like, it could have been made out of
Science,
Gatorade.
science with Christian.
Made out of Gatorade.
Gatorade. I miss Gatorade.
I mean, it's still
We won't
around,
get into that.
Sean.
We
What do
won't
you
get into
mean?
that.
What do you mean I miss Gatorade? Discontinue it.
So I'm a little lost what happens next. Oh, no, I remember now. So then it cuts to this was it a tour guide? I'm not entirely sure, but it's these two women who are on a boat with this dude, and this guy is trying to power this boat along on this lake, and this lake is like surrounded by like giant hills and mountains, right?
Yeah.
And as they're powering through it, I guess you can look down and there's like a sunken city in there, and they're looking through like this lens that's on the boat, which was actually kind of cool. It's why I was interested in it.
Yeah.
And as they're going through it, uh, the I don't want to say boat driver because now I'm gonna sound really stupid.
The boat
The
driver.
pilot, we'll call him the pilot. The pilot looks up and he's just like frantically looking up and spinning around like what's going on, what's going on. And the girls, they're not paying attention, but then suddenly their radio that they have on just like started spraying this like static noise. And as they finally figure out that there's something wrong, they look up too, and there's this giant meteorite heading down. And this is such a weird looking cut too, because it heads down like as a small little ball. Then in a split second, it's large and it's on fire, and then it another split second, it manages to catch everything else on fire, including the mountaintop, and then it hits the lake, and
It's
you're
so
like, oh no,
cartoony.
they're gone, everybody's gone. And then when it actually hits the lake, it's not like they actually showed the meteorite hitting the water. It's like it tries to hit the water, and then
Just creates a
just I don't know what
splash.
exactly happened, but they cut, and then it's already inside the lake. It's so weird.
Yeah, it sends the boat flying. It's like a cartoon, and like everybody on the boat's still alive when they like get stranded on like a steep cliff or something like that.
It almost reminded me of that episode from Kamen Rider that you showed me, where it was the guy running along with the girl on his back as he's
Oh,
running along that that little piece of
it's like an awning
the awning
on
outside,
the.
and he's just running along, and they have that weird cut, even though it's supposed to him be like running super fast, it looks super slow, but they cut it in like multiple seconds, and it's just
Yeah,
like him going backwards and forwards at the same time.
it was
It's
very
so
goofy the way it
weird.
looked, and also you could tell the boat's a miniature. Like it
Oh,
just looks so
absolutely.
funny when it's flying through the air.
Oh, it's even funnier later on.
Yeah,
So the boat ends up on a mountainside, right? And when it gets onto the mountainside, the two women who are in the boat, they're like, "Oh, we need to get off this boat. We don't know how. Someone help us." But where's the dude? Did he die?
I think he just like evaporated.
So he got hit by the meteorite,
He took it on full force.
and no one felt bad for him whatsoever. They don't even mention him throughout the rest of the episode.
Nice, he's gone.
That was
He
that
went
was
flying.
sad.
He probably went flying to another hill.
Knowing this show, maybe because they don't really do death unless it's monsters and they die in weird ways, which we will get to.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Yeah, we will.
So, obviously, when it comes to this show, there's a monster of some sort, right? There's got to be a monster with the Ultra series. There has to be. Christian, what kind of monster did we get with this episode?
This monster looked like the monster that was on the train, and like a ficus had a kid.
So, I'm gonna one up on you on this. I wrote down that it looked like Sonic the Hedgehog meets Snuffleupagus.
It does, yeah. It's
It's
very ugly looking, and
it's got webbed feet. It has like yellow, almost like yellowish type legs. You can see that's going down to its going or not legs, but down its ankles, down to its feet, and its back. It's jagged rocks, which are meant to be like meteorite pieces,
yeah,
but it makes it look like a giant hedgehog.
it looks like a spiky poop.
It does. And the way that it has it's got its hands that like
It's like in front
sticks
of
out.
it. Yeah,
Yeah. And it like tries to hit them together like a little seal. I
and
didn't
then
know what to expect from that. It was so weird.
so this is a clearly like organic monster, right? But it
Right.
walks and it makes mechanical sounds when it walks. Like what
Yeah.
the fuck? It,
And
it was kind of ugly.
God. So we find out that the meteorite that was originally found by the kids is actually emitting these radio waves that is actually programming this monster because apparently this monster is not just a monster,
Oh yeah,
it's a robot
it's our
monster
it's RC controlled.
basically. And so it's what leads up to the ending. It's so funny.
That pissed me off.
I bet it did. It made me go, "What the fuck?" But it was so funny. So they find out that it's emitting these radio waves, and they're trying to find a way to control it. That way, they can get it to stop. And Ipe and June, the X File guys, or the Ultra guys, whatever you want to call them,
The ultraphile
um,
guys.
the Ultra File guys, that works. Uh, they decide that they want to go ahead and rescue these women that are on the boat. Before the monster can get them for whatever reason the monster is programmed to kill whatever's on the side of the mountain. So like they go and rescue them. As soon as they manage to pull them out of the boat, the monster you described this because I know you I'm pretty sure you laughed at it when it happened.
God, it like doesn't it destroy the dam?
No, that happens
Wait,
after. Well, I'm talking about
I'm trying to
what the
remember.
heck?
Like I said, a lot of these episodes get suppressed, and I didn't write any notes.
1 second. I seem to be getting an ad somewhere, and it's really making things weird for me.
What's
One
going
moment.
on, Sean? What are you doing?
I don't know. Hang on. Oh my god, what is this? Skip ad, turn off. God, that was terrifying. I'm leaving that in though, by the way, just to let you know.
I figured, yeah.
I do not want to have to deal with that edit later. Or have you deal with it.
I'm just
All
gonna
right,
put a bunch of sound effects on there,
you can do that. Do it where it's just like a bunch of
like
random.
cartoony.
No, do the zzz.
Yeah, I'll find that noise.
So the way that the monster is attacking the boat is what I was referring to.
Oh, it was so goofy.
That's all you're gonna say?
I it just that's like the most like it's a one of those things you just kind of have to see for yourself. Like I'm actually trying to pull up that clip right now.
So the way that I can describe it then is the monster, it's still clicking its hands together and not like a slap or anything like that or clapping. It's legit just it's got its hands down like a T-Rex and it's clicking its hands together like left and right.
It
It's
looks like a
so weird.
seal opening up a clam.
That's a really good description. And so it goes up to the boat after June and Ipe save the girls. It walks up to the mountainside and it slaps the boat like Miles Morales slaps the spider
It
into the
does.
Spider Verse.
Yeah,
It's so janky.
it's just it's such a goofy design, and it's like there's no way to really make that look like. I guess it's not supposed to be terrifying, but it's like there's no way to make it look any sort of intimidating or like big baddish. I guess
Hmm.
because of like the limited mobility and those gangly ass like hands.
No, I probably not. Still, it was funny, but then looking back on it, it's just like I don't know what they were if they were trying to instill any kind of fear into anybody or any kind of like horror, like looking at it through a lens of like 1960s horror. Even then, I don't know if I could think, wow, that was scary.
It yeah, it just it's very goofy. That's just like the best word I could use to describe how this thing is.
Absolutely. So the scientist people, they end up managing to figure out how to block off the radio waves by somehow putting a container over it. They basically put a giant block of Tupperware over this meteorite
It's just a mesh.
and oh, it was a mesh. I thought it was Tupperware. Might as well be Tupperware. It's the same
Might as
fucking thing.
yeah.
And as they did that, it blocked off the radio waves. Christian, tell me
it
the
just
ending.
it just fucking crumples forward and drowns itself in like a puddle.
So the monster was walking up to a dam. It blows up a dam, and it's actually kind of cool when it does that because
Yeah.
it headbutts the dam, and it has like this really cool explosion shot. And when it does that, it's like cool water everywhere. And then as soon as they block those radio waves, it's like, oh, I don't have any programs to receive. I'm gonna
it
fall asleep, and it falls asleep head first into the water that it just let loose
like
and it
slams
drowns
forward.
itself.
It like
It,
slams forward like god, it's so funny.
it was the funniest thing is when I got the message from you as soon as you finished, your only words were "what the fuck."
And like the way it dances too, like it like throws its hands left to right and it like just kind of jumps up and down in place before it dies.
Oh my god, I just found
It's,
the picture of the thing. I'm putting it up for the video version of the podcast. That way if anybody wants to see it, they'll be able to go ahead and do so.
yeah.
So if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for the view. Also, you're going to love looking at this thing cuz
I'm watching, I'm
it's
rewatching
so
it.
dumb.
It yeah, the water comes out of its mouth or like some goo. It closes its eyes and just falls forward.
It's got it's got hands that looks like salad fingers.
It does. Oh my god. It just falls asleep. Electronic brain is destroyed.
God, this is amazing.
It's
So, anyways, that was episode 13.
I
I
think
hope y'all
that
will
was
enjoy that.
probably my favorite of the three so far.
That's shocking. That's honestly shocking.
Yeah, because the next one is repetitive.
Which I get. You want to start us off on this one?
Yeah. So this one is Tokyo Ice Age Part Two.
Tokyo Ice Age is Scrat in it.
It's what?
Scrat, from those Ice Age movies.
Dog. I've seen like one
Me,
time.
me too. A long time ago when I was a kid, but I still remember Scrat. He wanted Nut.
Oh, is that what the squirrel's name was?
Yeah,
Scrat?
Scrat.
God, poor. I hate that name. Scrat?
Well, Scrat. Yeah,
God. Anyways, continuing from
I'll put
Scrat.
that picture in there too.
Yeah, we'll put Scrat in there. So now the Tokyo Ice Age. So I guess at it's a Tokyo airport, all of a sudden a big cold front just comes through and grounds all the planes. And it's actually kind of cool because you see one plane literally freeze in midair. It,
Oh,
but
that
it
was such a cool shot.
Yeah, and it like starts
Pun
sparking.
intended.
But the thing is, it's like it's still in midair. I'm assuming it's fighting the wind, but it looks really funny. And then it just plops down. It just falls flat, and then out of it emerges Pegula again, freaking pigeon bird thing from like episode 2.
Yeah. Do you remember what Pegula looked like originally?
It looked like a ruffled up chicken.
That's a really good way to describe it.
It
I put down really high, flat-footed Godzilla with
No,
wings.
actually, never mind. I take that back because I'm looking at the photo of it now. I keep thinking that it's feathered, but it's not. It's just like a toad with wings that's high.
It really is. It's basically Gomez.
It
It's a
is,
different
yeah.
version of Gomez. Just it's like a blue color. I think,
The
and
420 friendly version of it because its
the
eyes are never
420.
open more than half.
Absolutely. And when you see his feet, they are just completely flat. It's like, why? How is he getting any damage done?
His chode feet.
Chode feet. I don't have a good response for that.
Chode feet Pegula.
So what else happens?
Belugia. So yeah, it just starts freezing like the whole place at Tokyo, and then like it just goes on a destructive spree, and then some little kid is like trapped in a car too, while like Pegula is freezing everything,
Hmm.
and then these two people find somebody like a drunk guy sleeping on a plane. Come to find out, he was like some kind of robber or like a certain like a famous pilot or something.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know if you connected to the last episode or not. I don't think he did. But yeah, it's this pilot who was from.
So he was a super cool pilot.
Yeah, he was a cool pilot, but he's also a drunkard. But
He was
he
a
also
pilot.
left his kid behind, so he's not super cool.
That he did, yeah.
And this kid manages to befriend Yuri-chan, who I still adore. Yuri is just really, really good as a reporter. Plus, her character is she's got
Yeah,
really great personality. I
she
like her,
does. She's cool.
and she ends up befriending this little kid who says, "Hey, I'm on this great scoop, regarding this missing dude who was a soldier and he was part of this militia back in the day, and now he's gone missing, and I can't seem to find him." And so she's trying to do this particular report, but Pegula comes and ruins the day. So she's like, "Well, sorry, kid, but I don't give a shit about you
you,
anymore. It's all about
you
Pegula."
suck now. Leave me alone. I got stuff to deal with.
Right? And Pegula, he comes in a puff of black smoke, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's high.
That you know what? That actually makes more sense now.
He's been
Never
hotboxing
mind the why anymore.
for like 2.6 billion years or some shit like that.
It's just my only concern. My question regarding all that is like, if you're supposed to be this giant monster who's supposed to be hurling nothing but the ice age at people, basically, why is it got to be smoke? Why can't it just be nothing? I mean, why can't it just be like a whirlwind gust of
Like cold.
icy wind?
Because fire's cooler.
It wasn't fire, it was
Or like
smoke.
smoke. I guess it's just easier to translate because this is
He
black
was
and
like a
white.
monstrous version of a Mortal Kombat character, basically.
Yeah,
He was literally the personification of Smoke and Sub-Zero at the same time.
he was. I'm just looking at it also at like it's hard to translate white smoke really on like a black and white screen. So black just looks more
It
at
does look a
standing
little bit
out.
more menacing, so I
Yeah.
do give it that. So she decides that she's going to go ahead and do the report on Pegula, and in doing so, the what was it? The man that they end up recovering from the plane, who's a drunkard, ends up waking up and he actually has a gun. He turns out he's like pretending to be a jewel thief. Is that right?
Yeah, it's something like that, and he has to like get to a certain. He has to get to the islands or something like that, Japanese islands.
Yeah, his was like such a weird little contrived plot.
Yes.
And as that happens, the Yuri-chan plot happens where she's trying to get over to the airport in order to help June and Ippei, and in doing so, they end up being attacked by Pegula, and they end up, which was really fucking funny. Their car gets tossed up into the air, and it starts going in a 360 motion, not like swirling around 360 degrees, but uh,
It just goes flying through the air.
just just going chaotically 360, like almost like a full sphere. It's so bizarre the way that it does it, and the way that they do their internal shots. It's just everybody in the car moving from left to
Waving.
right, going
Yep.
whoa,
That's all it is.
whoa. It was really funny. And then they get stuck on, of course, a mountainside full of ice, and they can't get out. And they first try to push on Yuri to see if they can get her to do it, but she can't because apparently she's not strong enough. So
Yeah.
then, after like using one of the older men to do it, they end up using the little kids. Like, hey, little kid, get out there. Okay, bye. Get the fuck out.
And I think the old guy calls Yuri an idiot. Like it's
He
pretty
does.
random. Yeah, like he's just like, okay, idiot, something like that.
Yeah, I think she ends up saying something as a retort, but I don't remember
Oh
because I
yeah,
was just so fixated on everything
it was like
else.
it's like, oh, so you can't do these things or something like that. And he's like, okay, idiot. It's just like, god
Right.
damn, dude, relax. This is
Like
a
she
stressful
can't catch a
situation.
break. Like it should be Ippei who should be considered the idiot, but it's like for
Yeah.
some reason the past few episodes Ippei has caught a break, and it's like I don't get it.
Yeah. And then they end up using, yeah, they're using the little kid to get out because they do push the car door a little bit, enough for him to wiggle
Hmm.
through. And then now he's got to,
And
like, day after tomorrow, trek his way to, like, the airport or some shit.
yeah, but even better, Pegula looks down, sees the little kid, and he's like, "I'm gonna be a dick."
He fucking blows his ass away.
And he tries stomping after him too. It's like
Yeah.
that's some bullshit. This Pegula's a legit dick.
Piglet sucks. The
He's a
kid's
he's
like
an
10
asshole,
pounds and he goes flying.
right? But the kid ends up making it to the airport, and lo and behold, the drunkard asshole gun-toting wannabe sees the kid and goes like, "Oh, you're my son." The
Yeah, oh,
son doesn't even
hey.
get to see him.
Yeah, like, hey, my son. Like, okay,
Yeah,
what the
because the
fuck?
son is like so messed up and disoriented that he's able to deliver a message saying, "Hey, get to this location if you want to get
Like,
explosives."
he's like, save the reporter girl.
Yeah, because now he's utterly in love with her. Like, who wouldn't be? It's Yuri-chan.
Yeah.
And the man's like, "Here, hold my son. Like, here, hold my baby."
Yeah. They
And
start
as he
chasing
gets
the
out
drunk
there,
guy.
June goes and chases him and knocks him to the ground, and it looks like he's about ready to beat him up again. He's like,
Yeah,
"No,
right?
look into the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's more black smoke."
It's more black smoke.
And he goes like, "Only I can do it. I'm a top pilot."
They give
And
him
as
like,
he goes,
God, yeah. Go ahead.
it's so weird to me how this works. So he goes to this other location to pick up the explosives. But what's weird to me is that they don't radio this other location saying, "Hey, this guy's going to go ahead and pick it up." Because it was going to be them. Like, it was either going to be June or Ippei who was actually going to pick up the explosives. Instead, it's them. It's this dude.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Load it up." And they just do it so, like, gently and, like, friendly and whatnot. I was like, "Okay, you're good to go." And it's like, you just gave a random dude explosives. He could be a domestic terrorist. Why are you doing this?
Like, it's like a tub of paint. Like, it's nothing like, it's just in a bucket. Like, and it just says mixture on it or something like that or chemicals. Like, it's nothing
Yeah,
to indicate that it's an explosive.
right. It was so weird. It was basically it was just uh Pegamin H,
Yeah.
which is their mixture
Like,
that they decided to use or create
it's
after
their
their first encounter with Pegula.
preparation
So
H.
preparation H for Pegula, which
Just
okay, so I'm reading the wiki here, and this is actually what it describes to me because I was a little confused by the ending, and now it actually makes more sense. So, reading here, it says that he ends up flying into the monster's mouth, which he ends up sacrificing himself, which only drives the monster away. It doesn't die.
yeah, it doesn't it's just like it like hits it in the face and then it's just still there and then it flies away.
Yeah.
Very
I'm like,
useless.
that was really unneeded.
It
Like
was.
now we're gonna get another Pegula episode because this guy failed to live up to his
They
expectations.
failed to kill Pegula, and that's all I want.
Yeah. It's like I guess this is why they needed Ultraman because, humans can't do shit.
They can't. No, they're too busy flying shit into Pegula's head.
Sacrificing themselves because they're, shitty dads to begin with and now they're shitty, parcels.
It's
Which, by
terrible.
the way, that ending at the end, when they're on the train and they're saying bye, bye, over and over and over.
Hi.
I get it when it's just, the main cast saying bye to the kid as he's leaving on the train. But
It's
when you've
like,
got the extras who are there
oh yeah,
and
everybody's
they're
waving.
saying bye, it's like, who are you? Why are you saying bye to this little kid? Are you targeting him? Like,
Yeah,
what's
this
going
kid's
on
just
here?
he's like famously known, I guess. Just everyone's like, "Bye, little kid. Tell your
I
dad I
guess.
said thanks for
Yeah,
saving us."
yeah, for driving away this monster that's gonna come and terrorize us again at some point. It was an interesting episode. It wasn't a good episode. It was an interesting episode.
I might honestly think this one's. Well, let's talk about the third one more. I know you really enjoyed this one.
I I adored this episode. Now, Christian, I am a man with simple needs. I want something entertaining, and I want something that I know that can either make me laugh or make me go ooh or ah. This episode made me laugh hard.
This episode made me wish I was high to enjoy it more.
So this episode is called Kanegon's Cocoon. Cocoon. Sorry, Cocoon.
Cocoon.
Cocoon. It's like
Cocoon.
Tokun,
Tocoon.
Tycoon, Cocoon, Cocoon. Let's just say it correctly. Cocoon. There we
Cocoon.
go. Kanegon's Cocoon. Now, remember, as I said before when we were talking about episode 13, when it comes to any kind of kid episode, you have a 50-50 chance of it being really good or really bad. Do you remember the first kid episode that we had that I know that you absolutely hated?
It was like a seal, wasn't it?
It was a turtle.
Or turtle. Yeah, it was. I forgot what the turtle was, but it was goofy as hell. It looked so stupid. That whole
The
episode,
entire thing was a fever dream.
it was one big fever dream. This episode is like the tail end of a fever dream where it's a little bit more coherent.
But it's all real!
But yeah, it's all real. Apparently, yeah.
So, this episode is all about this little kid named Kaneo Kaneda, which apparently in this mean in blah blah blah.
Take your
Let's
time.
try that again. In Japanese, Kane means money, according to the wiki. Kaneo is running around with his little posse, and he likes to go around and collect money because he's basically a little bum.
He owns like a flea
Simple as
market
that.
outside or something like that. That there's
But
it's like
as
a bunch of
they,
kids selling like snake skin and shit.
it's weird. Like, you want some snake oil?
Yeah, and there's like eggs. Like kids are just
E-
selling freshly laid eggs they stole from a
e-
farm.
exactly. And they end up finding a cocoon, and in it they hear like money inside, right?
Yeah,
And jingles. So Kaneo's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep this coon. It might, grow, and I can actually get some, decent money out of it. And as they're there on the beach, there's this guy that they call,
the
oh
walrus man or something.
yes, oh hang on, I wrote it down. It was really funny because I don't see it on the wiki here. 1 second. Daddy
Daddy
Walrus.
walrus, yeah.
As soon as I said that, I'm like, I'm gonna love this.
And
uh,
also to note, the little kid's wearing like a turtle shell at the beginning of like the episode.
that's right.
Like
It's so weird.
it's just like let me not buy a hat, just wear a turtle shell.
And he's got like a little kid who's like putting on this like this little lay leaf on top of him just to make it to where he's
Covered
basically using him as a servant to like block out the sun.
pretty much, yeah. Yeah, he's just following him around with it.
He's like had starting his own little yakuza gang. It was really weird.
Start him early.
Right? So he's collecting all this money, and then Daddy Walrus shows up, and he's this guy in a giant bulldozer,
Just a
and he's
union
like,
worker. He just
yeah,
wants
and
to
he's like,
work.
oh, does he though?
I think that's what it was. He was just like a construction worker. He's just like these kids are fucking up the land I'm trying to build.
Because as far as I can tell, he just wanted to
It's like scaring
cause
them.
chaos and scare everybody and make sure that they had everything clear because they wanted a nice clear beach just for themselves.
Something like that. I don't know. He just seemed like a union worker just trying to make a dollar, and these kids are fucking up my land.
Either way, Daddy Walrus was a dick, and he ended up running over their table full of stuff that they had.
Yeah, yeah, he sucked.
So Kaneo decides to take his cocoon home, his cocoon home,
Cocoon.
and he talks to his parents, and it becomes like a topic of conversation about money. And his mom gives him a really good, God, well, basically a really good description as to what a Kanagon is supposed to be. And it was just the most bizarre thing as to what it should be. She called him like a coin purse head. Fuck, what was it? I'm
It was
trying to
like,
remember what it was.
yeah, your head was a head of a coin purse, and like I don't remember. It's like the body of something weird.
It was a bunch of different things, and it was just it's like okay, whatever.
And also, he's like a dick to his parents too. He's like, this money's more important to you than your grandparents or something like that.
Right? But to be fair, it's like I kind of understand that little kid because money makes the world go around.
Yeah, this kid
You
was an
know,
asshole. He deserved what he got.
he ended up looking like the fucking Hamburglar.
He did. He did look like Mayor
Oh
McCheese.
wait, no, not Hamburger. Exactly, Mayor McCheese. Definitely like Mayor McCheese. That's
Yeah,
it.
it was like a coin purse head and a body of like a Martian or an alien, something like that.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, his eyes. That's what it was.
yeah.
Oh, he looked like
It's
fleshy Alpha 5.
he looked like if the reboot Alpha 5 had skin.
Oh my god, it was so weird. So he wakes up the next morning after falling into the giant well, the cocoon ends up becoming giant and he wakes up inside of it and ends up coming out the next morning to see his dad and he ends up looking like the description that his mother gave him of a Kanagon. And it is just so bizarre looking. He legit looks like everything that we just described is like a fleshy Alpha 5 from the Power Rangers reboot movie. The Mayor McCheese, everything all like that. It's just so weird. His parents freak out. His mom has the weirdest face when she comes out. Like,
Oh
she
yeah,
literally unhinges her jaw left and right multiple times before she runs and hides.
yeah. It was like a weird reaction. She was like, and then starts screaming.
It's so great. It was like the best reaction ever. And so he runs away because he's not sure what to do. So he goes, I believe, to his best friend,
Oh
and
yeah,
his best friend is like, I guess we're just gonna have to charge you to get you back to normal. Like, but I don't have any money. It's like, well, guess that sucks for you then. Sucks to suck, Mayor McCheese. He was
he's
like,
like, I need
well,
200 yen to get you back.
how about 150? All right, I guess we can work with
All
that.
right. No, and then he cries. The kid cries when he's in that body, and the eyes swivel back and forth, and there's just water shooting out of it.
When that happened, I died laughing because I'm like, this is the best. This
it
is absolutely the best.
it's
How
so
could you
weird
not like this,
looking.
Christian? It's so good.
I will say it is probably my second favorite. Like talking about it now, I kind of do enjoy it.
Yeah, I knew it would bring you in. So then he ends up getting all of his gang together, and for some reason, they all decide to start feeding him random change. Now, here's what I didn't get. He has a meter on him that's like a parking lot meter that rapidly starts ticking down, and they say that once the meter gets to zero, he's gonna die.
Yeah,
That meter got down to zero, and he never died.
he was like starving or something. I don't remember why that was there or like what the real danger was behind that. Like I don't. It was just odd.
It was a very odd choice. I mean, it would have made sense if they managed to actually keep up with it. And they tried to because they're like, okay, we're gonna have to start making some more money. We're gonna have to start teaching him tricks. We're gonna have to start holding events like a circus event.
Yeah,
We can do this. It's like, okay, that's
got a little
cool.
rascals of
But
shit.
but what about the fact that he already got down to zero? He should have died.
Yeah, maybe it's not an insta death, but hey, there's like a grace period before you die.
Right. It was so such a bizarre choice. So then they decide that they're gonna go over to this witch woman, and
Oh, that was
this
so
little
weird.
kid. It was very weird, but it was funny for
They got
one
to go
reason.
speak to God. That's her name.
Right. I don't remember. Maybe that was it. Let me look it up. Hang on. Priestess is all her name is. That's
Oh
all it says
yeah,
is priestess. So they end up uh trying to figure out what to do for him, and they give this one kid in the group a drum to beat on, rhythmically,
yeah.
and he looks at the camera and he just smiles every beat. I'm like, "You go, kid. You go. Just beat that drum."
Because like it doesn't like he was confused just as much as I was. Where I'm like,
Yeah.
and that wasn't his character. That was the actual actor. I'm sure it was just like, what the fuck am I doing?
Right? That's why it was so good. It's like, all right, he's just doing it. That's cool. Just go on, do what you got to do. And so the witch woman or priestess, she ends up saying, "You need to take the walrus man and turn him upside down, and then uh the Kanagon will be no more." So it's like, okay. They go ahead and they try to figure out what to do, and the daddy walrus shows up again with his bulldozer, and they try to do this weird stunt where they just tie random shit to the back of the bulldozer, which
Yeah,
I guess was to cause a distraction. I don't really know what that did other when all they could have done was just shout at him and that would have been just as fine. Um and then as they walk over to, I guess, wherever all their shit was, they end up seeing this map on the floor, and as they pull up the map, they pull up the Kanagon, and they freak out and they are like, "Oh no, what's going on?" One of the dudes ends up in the hole where the Kanagon just was, and he's completely upside down. The other dude freaks the hell out, tries to get on the bulldozer. The Kanagon tries to get on the bulldozer too, but he won't let him. And
yeah.
so the bulldozer spins around in circles, going, "Ah, whatever. I don't know what's going
It's
on.
moving. Yeah,
Ah."
it's moving weird.
And then
Yeah,
it just randomly falls off the side of a cliff. And I expected one of those random early 80s moments where the freaking bulldozer is just gonna blow up. It doesn't. It falls over, flips multiple times, and lands upright. But
yeah.
the actual driver ends up upside down. What happens next, Christian?
Oh god, there's like an explosion. So like this is the part that
Yes.
kind of lost me. So I remember seeing an explosion and then something parachuting down.
So the explosion occurs from the Kanagon itself.
That's what it
Like, it
is.
literally just blows up, and then out from it blowing up, it launches up into the sky,
Yeah,
and then launches a parachute, and then from the parachute comes down Kaneo
Canal.
in human form.
Yeah, it's
It's
like,
like, what the fuck just happened?
and then he runs all the way home happy and excited. Come to find out, his parents stole somebody else's money, and now they're Conagons.
Yeah,
And they're just sitting there, like the dad's reading the paper, and they're going through their, same
and they're
stuff.
laughing about it.
They are. And it's
It was
such
so
a,
weird.
it's just like that really is like a real kind of like Twilight Zone episode with the kind of twist ending like that. So I do really like it, where it's like that old children's tale come to life,
Hmm.
and that's what shot it up to number two.
Good. I'm glad I finally managed to literally talk you into it.
For all the goofy shit that episode is, it wasn't bad.
See, I knew it. I knew it. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that went on. I don't have any other trivia because there wasn't much about it.
No.
Um, I will be including those pictures just because I think these monsters were ridiculous to look at.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're pretty funny. I know the Kanagon was definitely one of like the Ultraman villains.
is it?
Yeah, I definitely because I always see this Funko Pop everywhere. But it's really cool the way
Wait, Konig? There's Ultraman Funko Pops?
you've never known this.
No, I don't think I needed to know this.
There's Ultraman, father of Ultraman, Taro, Jack. I think it's Ace, and
Oh
then two
God,
monsters, two or three
why
monsters.
why are you telling me this, Christian? You know I've stopped collecting Funkos.
I don't really want them. By all means, Sean, collect
Christian,
them.
why did you do this to me?
You found
Stop
them?
it. No, I'm not even gonna deign myself to look.
I'm gonna
I,
send you the
I
photos here,
will
Sean.
purge this from my memory the moment that we stop recording.
I'm gonna send you the Funko Pops so you know how they
Don't
look.
you fucking dare. I'll
They
buy you
look,
one for Christmas.
they do look cool. I'm trying to find an
I'll buy
image of
you
them.
I'll buy you 3 out of the collection, and then you'll be like, "But I want the last one." And I'll be like, "No."
God, that would bug me. I would burn them. That's the one thing. Like when I was collecting, I wanted if I didn't have the set, I wasn't gonna buy it.
Yep.
So yeah,
That
it is.
that
Yeah, the Konagon, Jack Asen, father of Ultraman,
damn.
and Ultraman,
Well,
and Belton.
I'm not gonna put any more Funko money into Funko collections. I can't do it.
No, it's
But
not.
you know what I would consider buying?
You gonna buy me a muffin?
I mean, I would consider
A
getting that,
muffin?
but I was considering even more so those King Odor toys. Those giant
The God
Megazord
Tarantula.
toys. Yeah,
The God
those are
Tarantula
really
is really
cool.
nice. I like the way they
And I,
look.
I haven't even seen the last 2 episodes yet, but God, that looked really cool.
Sean, you gotta watch them.
I know.
Like, watch them tonight before we get on tonight.
No,
Watch them.
I'm gonna be busy. I have other things planned for tonight.
You don't have anything planned now. I'm vetoing your plans, and you're gonna finish the
You
last
can't
two
veto my
episodes.
plans. You haven't even played the Final Fantasy 16 demo yet.
I'm gonna play that tonight,
You better play it tonight.
and I beat
I'll be listening.
I beat a big grass thing.
I don't even
Forget
know
what
what
it.
that means. Did you
Forget
beat
what.
Bulbasaur or what?
Yeah, it was a big Venusaur Guzzlord looking thing. The Mogul or something like that. I don't remember.
I'm gonna call animal abuse on you.
Fine. Shit pot. The marble. The marble.
Oh, the Marble. Okay,
That's what it
okay,
is.
okay. Yeah. We're not gonna talk anymore about that. But
No.
I do have a couple other questions for you before we end this podcast for today.
Let's hear it.
What you've been watching?
Oh man, I am on. Hold on, I am on episode 32 of Ghost. Kamen Rider Ghost 36, and I'm trying to find a way to where I could watch this in chronological order because there's like a movie that takes place between 2 episodes, and then there's another backstory of one of the characters that's like 4 episodes.
Wait, can't you just watch it in chronological order?
Like there's no I have to like go to the fandom wiki and find out what episodes go in between what. There was a Reddit Kamen Rider thing that had it, but since Reddit's boycotting right now, that page is down. So I'm just doing it
Oh.
in that order. Like how right now with King Oger we have the story of King Rackles,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like on episode 2, The Secrets of King Rackles, which I got to watch episode 2, which is just him being a really shitty king
Oh,
and how he
right.
becomes the Okuagata Oger.
Okuagata. Oh yeah.
Okuagata.
Sorry, I just had to do that.
What are you
So
watching,
just to make
Sean?
sure, that's just like a side story thing that they ended up putting on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's on Tokuzilla. Right now, it's only 2 episodes in, and I think they're like less than 10 minutes. They're pretty quick.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I like
Nice.
how I noticed that with a lot of Rider and Sentai series is that there's little individual series for it for like a character backstory and something like that. Because the one I'm watching right now for Ghost is actually really cool, and it's making me like this character more.
Like a little
Prin-
web series
yeah,
almost.
Prince Alan.
That's awesome. I like that. It's kind of like when animes do like OVAs or some stuff, like little OVA pieces.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
That's awesome. I haven't watched anything Toku related except for what we just watched recently. I mean, I finished Lost Galaxy. I'm waiting for you to do that. That way we can do our
Uh,
review of
I'll get
that.
there. I'll get there soon enough.
But I do plan on watching Beetleborgs soon.
That I'm excited to watch.
Yeah, me too. I'm actually really excited to watch that. But other than that, the only other thing that I've watched recently, aside from the new Transformers movie, Rise of the Beast, now playing in theaters everywhere,
Playing in
uh,
theaters.
I recently watched an anime movie, a Studio Ghibli anime movie that was actually really good. It was my third Ghibli movie called Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, and that was utterly fantastic. And I think it's my favorite Ghibli movie that I've watched.
Which ones have you seen?
I've watched that one, I've watched Spirited Away, and I've watched Princess Mononoke.
Princess Mononoke is good.
Eh?
I like it's an underrated one. Like for me, I liked it a lot. I liked it more than I was thinking I was going to like it.
So this is gonna probably upset a lot of people, when we have
Oh,
people who interact with us. I found Princess Mononoke kind of boring.
dog, that's lame as hell. Gonna get us canceled.
um, and Spirited Away, I think is a good movie. I just think it's a little too long.
That's Christian Bale.
I've only watched it subbed.
Oh wait, no, Spirited Away. Never mind. I'm thinking of Howl's Moving Castle.
which I own, haven't watched yet.
You own a lot of stuff you need to watch, Sean.
Yeah, it's in my backlog. I'm working on that.
Killing me.
But yeah, that's all I've watched. I fully recommend watching Nausicaa though. For any anime lovers out there. I mean, if you're into Toku, more than likely you like anime. But yeah, definitely give Nausicaa a shot if you haven't already. Fully, it's just wonderful. It's it's a story that I guess could be endless in terms of age and time.
Yeah, I gotta. That's the
That's
one
the
I do
same
have to
thing, but you know what
watch.
I mean.
Yeah, I will watch that.
Definitely. I don't have anything else. I don't have anything extra I want to give.
You're
I'm
just
just
killing time.
tired.
Yeah, but I think that's it for this episode. Thank you guys for
It
joining
is.
us.
Yeah. Don't forget everyone.
Don't
It's almost time for episode 16.
episode
You know what episode
16.
16 is?
I don't.
Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, I thought you meant like Ultra Q episode 16. I got
I
worried. I was
did,
like,
but
I'm
you
not gonna
know,
watch that tonight, Sean. I'm sorry.
I did mean that, but I also wanted to, give it a plug, but whatever.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, 16 comes out in like 2 weeks.
Well,
Next week
yeah.
when this episode
Shut up.
airs. Whatever. All right.
Bye.
Later.